Again, guys, welcome to the QTech Connection, episode 7. I'm your host, Andres. Today, we continue our interview with our special guest, Pascal Michel. He's joining us from Miami, Florida. We're going to pick up where we left off. We're going to pick up where he's now transitioning from college into continuing his professional career, but now having a new insights, having new expectations of himself as his career journey through high school, college changes point of view on who he is and what he wants to be. A quick reminder, Pascal at this time, he still was working for the Social Security. He never stopped that. He's been doing that since 15 years old, and he held many hats, different jobs, basketball coach, security guard, promoter, and we kind of already discussed a lot of those things during our previous episode. So, my brother, welcome back again.
Thank you for having me again. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, brother. Always a pleasure. So let's pick up where we left off, man. So as college is winding down, you're still working for the Social Security Administration, right?
Correct.
So what was your first professional job after college? What was your mindset as you left, and what was in your purview?
Well, as I was wrapping up college, I was still working for the Social Security Administration, and my degree was in social studies education. I thought I was going to be a basketball coach, and that I would teach as well. Like I'd kind of just go from like the high school ranks up, and then I realized I was going to be making way more money with Social Security Administration. I'm staying with SSA, right?
Yeah.
So then I decided to stick with the agency, and it was a great idea. The agency had been really good to me. They hired me at 15 as a volunteer, and I remained with them for 18 years.
My goodness, 18 years. So share with us some experiences of that journey, the 18 years through SSA.
Well, at SSA, I got to meet a lot of great people, a lot of great people and I've learned lessons from everyone, from people who were like in the same positions as me to eventually I was a part of management, and I learned from the higher ups and people that I managed. All of that has made me who I am today. But I really learned professionalism and how to network. I guess I was pretty good at it, and Facebook actually helped me with this, believe it or not. Because do you remember when Facebook first began, Facebook had that little feature where you put in your job, but then you could click on the job, right, or the company, right? And you could find people from around the country or around the world, if you were an international company, that you could become friends with or add to your network. Well, I would click on Social Security and I'd just add people from around the country, right? and you know what? I didn't know who I was meeting. A lot of these people became upper management eventually, and some people I helped to become, to get promotions and the such, But the thing is, networking was key. As the higher I got, the more political the job became, right? And I think people really, really liked me because I really could care less about the politics of that job.
You were just there to get a job done and have fun.
Yeah, exactly. Have a job done, enjoy my life. That's what a lot of people say. They're like, what do you want to be in life? I'm like, I just love being happy with my life, stress free,
and it was, people forget about
it was right. And people forget that a lot of times the stress is put on by themselves, actually, but the higher you got, I found out the more cutthroat the agency was, right? Because people have ambition, right? And they're thinking about their self-interest, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that You know, there's not too many jobs at the top, you know,
And
and
unfortunately,
you've
there's some
got
people out there who don't care who they have to steamroll to get ahead. They don't care what
oh,
bridges they have
absolutely.
to burn as long as their self-interest is a hand. And how you look at it could be a positive thing, could be a negative thing. But let me take you back real quick into your role before you started getting promoted, because a lot of people out there might be able to relate with you in this position. They're sitting there saying, I got this position, I am good, I feel comfortable, but should I step up? Should I do more? What should I do to be seen or be acknowledged or be put into a maybe a management position? And then that's the first question. Like, so as you were going through your day to day, what made you kind of say, you know what, I do want to keep going growing, or I'm comfortable. As you know, we met people who've been at the same job for 20 years. Nothing wrong with that. Some people just, I feel, but what made you say, you know what, I want to continue progressing?
I think it was that's just my nature. I'm just always going to keep on trying to progress. And, there's some people who just feel like, that's the thing when you work in certain jobs where you have like these grade levels, everyone expects that. People expect that once you get to one point, you're just going to automatically go up. You're going to automatically go, like, keep on moving up, right? Just
Yeah.
stay there long enough, you're going to get to the top. But no, you actually have to work hard to get there, and you have to be smart. You got to put yourself in the right positions. You have to listen to people, right? You have to listen to people because like I was saying, although that the higher I got up, the more cutthroat the positions were. But you know what? I was also able to learn from a lot of those people because they worked their butts off to get to those positions, you know. And a lot of them were also willing to help me to move up as well. So when I say cutthroat, I mean really like that they really want you to succeed
Step
and do
up.
well, because it also looks good for them.
Well, that's a good
But
perspective, because not all places are like that. Cutthroat sometimes just means that they're willing to sabotage you, stab you in the back, and everything else, and that becomes a really uncomfortable work environment per se. But when you're able to find those individuals who are willing to mentor you, willing to share their knowledge, and like you said, yes, they have gone through a journey as well, because everybody starts at some point, they move up, and as they go through, they're lucky enough to meet some things, and that goes back to the core of who you are, networking.
yeah,
Networking has
let
always
me
been
tell
something
you.
that you've done, and it's gotten you through. Go ahead, brother.
Let me tell you, I was in Atlanta at the regional office, and we just had a new regional commissioner. I'm not going to mention his name, but I just during one of my breaks, I said, you know what? I think one day I'd like to be I'd like to end up in not even a regional commissioner, but I was thinking that I wanted to be in DC or something,
Okay.
or working in Baltimore. And I walked to the regional commissioners, like the boss of everyone, right? And I just
The
walked
boss
in
of
and I was
bosses,
like, and I asked, and I go to him, can you be my mentor? And he looked at me as like, yeah.
Nobody's ever asked me that before.
Yeah, so, like some random guy from Miami just comes in and says, "Can you be my mentor?"
How did it take it?
So
What was his
we
reaction? And
yes, and he was very helpful, helpful through the end. He
that's
really
great, man.
was.
Again,
But and I was able to learn a lot of lessons through the mentors that I had in Social Security Administration. Like I had Lee Rojas, Tara Davis, Vivian King, Jose Lastra, Jose Gonzalez, Marzell Wallace, Vicky Alnaji. I had a lot of people that really helped me out. And I know I miss Tangela Standifer. Oh man, she was great. She's one of the first people that saw talent in me, and I didn't even know it.
and
You
and
know,
that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful, because we're not all blessed to be able to run into those people, because those are people that if we have not gone that path, we have never met. You know, it's this is part of your life journey, something that you have to go through, and there was these roadblocks or these steps. I don't want to call them roadblocks. There were steps to help you continue your path moving forward. So as you continue to grow, as you continue to expand and experience the professional environment at SSAA, how did this job start to interfere, or not interfere, influence your career path? You know, how did you start kind of seeing that this is the road that you want to follow?
Well, you know what? I had just met so many great people, and and like like gained all this knowledge and leadership skills and abilities, and I learned so much through a lot of these people that I kind of wanted to take a little bit of each one of these people to become like this, like you know, like how the Power Rangers all become one, you know, assemble into one.
What was the Power Rangers morph or whatever it was? Yeah.
You know, want to become like a little bit of every one of them, but obviously you can't be like that because there's, you know, their differences also is what makes them great as well, you know. But
that's a big key component to have. You see, you analyze an individual, and you take and you learn from that person, and you take that, you borrow that, you ask for it, or you just take it, and you add it to your arsenal of life skills, you know. And that's something that we have to do as we go through this professional journey, because there's a lot of things that you don't learn in college. College just makes sure that you understand X, Y, and Z, whatever requirements are needed for you to get that degree. That's what they do, but they don't teach you a lot of the stuff that you have to do in day-to-day working, and being able to go to that environment, meet other individuals, and being able to learn from them is a key component to building your professional career and your professional success. So as you were going through, I know we know you lasted there 18 years, brother. As you were getting closer to those 18 years, what started changing? What started to pick at your interest and say, you know what, I at one point I wanted to be the boss of bosses, but now life is calling me to a different path?
Well, you know what, I want to say that I just started feeling like I just wanted something different in life, right? Like like I told you, I wasn't really trying to just move up in the agency. It wasn't like my biggest thing, the biggest goal in my life. This was actually before law school began. Before law and management and stuff like that, I was just looking for something different in life. And so first I looked into joining the military. I had an interview with the Navy recruiter.
Navy.
Right?
Okay.
I wanted to become an officer. Yeah, I know it sounds funny because I can't swim, but whatever.
You know? I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. It was all you. I was just laughing.
I'm trying. So what's it called? I get to the Navy recruiter's office. I had my appointment and all, and the door's locked and the lights are off. So someone from the Marines, recruiter from the Marines, calls me in, and I'm like, he's like, yeah, do you want to join the Marines? I was like, I don't know, I just want to be an officer, you know, just whatever, try something new. He's like, and his pitch to me was, do you want to stare the enemy in his eyes and shoot him in between both of those eyes? I was like, that was the question he asked me, and I go, no. then he goes, how many push-ups can you do? How many pull-ups? I was like, yeah, this ain't for me.
They misread you completely. They went the opposite way when it came to interviewing Pascal or trying to get. You want to shoot the enemy between the eyes? What? Yeah, I'm out. That's not for me. I'm out.
Yeah, see it.
Oh, so God.
Hey, look, somebody's got to do it, just not me.
Hey, you know, they're the first ones in and last ones out. The Marines, baby. They have a tough job to do, and respect goes out to those guys, because my goodness,
very much respect
the stuff that they have to do. And yeah, it's an amazing job that they have to do, and the circumstances they have to do them with. It's a challenging environment, like you said, not meant for us, especially with the sales pitch of put one between the eyes, you know.
Yeah. So then the next thing I was going to do was I was actually looking. I don't think I've told many people this, but I looked into Interpol because I think I had recently watched a movie where there was like some human trafficking. I think it was with Denzel Washington or something. And actually, I had a really sad case at the Social Security Administration where this girl came in and she looked so sad. And when I looked at her visa, I'd never seen it before, and it was a victim of human trafficking. And I was like, no, you know what? I want to join Interpol and try and, you know, combat this. And so like I looked at positions in Belgium, and I want to say it was either France or Poland. I don't remember, something like that. And I decided, you know what? I think I was just like super young and not ready to leave Miami. So I stuck around here. So how I became an attorney? Well,
so wait, before you get there, because I do want to dive a little deeper into this journey, because it looks like after spending 18 years of your life there, something inside of you was looking for a new start, a new challenge. So walk me through the mindset. It's not that you were unhappy. We're not saying that you were unhappy. You loved the SSA. They gave you a great platform and everything, but something inside was telling you, I want to do something else with my life. To the point that you were looking at joining the Marines, the Navy, Interpol. So I think right from there, looking back, what do you think your mind was trying to tell you? Because those are interesting sectors to pick: military, you know, law enforcement, international law enforcement, because that's what the Interpol is. So, because right there, I see some connections to eventually where you landed, which is a lawyer. So, before we go into how you became a lawyer, can you share with us kind of the mindset of why the yearning, why what's again military, Interpol, why that's coming to be, and what, I don't know if you had a chance to think about, why were you going through that process?
Well, what happened is all right. So I realized what I really wanted to do was help people in a different way. That's, you notice, that's the common denominator in each of these jobs was they weren't about me. It was about other people. And so I finally decided on law, actually, while I was right before your wedding, actually.
Oh,
because I spent 3 days in the resort by myself, and I just was thinking and writing and praying. Right. And that's when I decided I'm going to go to law school, because I figured that'll be another way that I can help people and work on my own.
Dominican Republic is definitely your send place, you know? So definitely when you go over there, you get to think about, clear your head and set your perspectives. So
absolutely.
As we move through today's episode, we're going to jump into the challenges and life lessons. And I think this is one of them. So you're really going to share with us kind of that yearning to help and thinking back, all the jobs that you had, one way or another, you've helped people. You know, promoter, you help people have fun. You've connected people to do stuff, throw parties, have a blast, have fun. And you graduated through life with that, with Social Security. That's an incredible job, because with a stamp, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know, I didn't work there. So, you know, if the stamp approval, somebody, yes, they might get more benefits. They might not get no benefits. They might get, it could be life changing to some people. You might see their needs. You might see their qualifications and things like that. So that's another way that you're helping people. And it looks like you got to the point where you wanted to do more. You know, you wanted to do more, that you investigated all the venues. And then now it wasn't until Dominican Republic where you had a bucket with a bunch of Presidente beer walking down the beach, and you're thinking about life. And walk us through, so dear listeners can understand, like, again, you know, this is a life changing journey. You had a 18-year-old career. You were stepping up. You had a bright future, but something inside of you was just asking to do more. And walk us through as you're walking down that Dominican beach, holding your bucket of beer. What was going through your mind? Like how did you get to boom lawyer? Because at this point you had tried.
It really was
things.
just. It really was just me saying, you know what, I want to find a way to help people. I had not, I kind of wimped out on the Interpol, and I wasn't trying to shoot people in the eyes. So, and I no longer wanted to teach. So I said, I said, yeah, I can help people as being a lawyer. I didn't know what type of law I was going to do, but I figured I would, be that help people doing law. Then while working with Social Security, I figured, okay, I can be an attorney for Social Security, maybe help write policies, things like that, especially because I have experience in a field office. I see what happens in a field office. I came with that experience. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, but things worked out. So.
Didn't for a while. You're right. That's right. You were working in that perspective and that mindset of, You just reminded me of you when you first started after everything. So before we get ahead of ourselves, real quick. So here you are. You're fresh in Dominican soil. You made up your mind. You wanted to become a lawyer. You wanted to help people. You thought about Social Security, helping change the organization within, new policies, better things. What was law school like? Because at this point, you have already graduated from college. You've already had close to 18 years of experience at a professional environment, at a federal government agency. What was it like going back to school? Because some people I've dealt with it. They say, "Oh, I'm too old to go to college. I'm too old to change careers. I'm too old to reinvent myself." And I keep telling people, you're never too old. Every day we're learning new things. Every day we're reinventing ourselves to be a better version of ourselves tomorrow. So walk us through that process, brother. As you were going through that journey, you said, okay, law is my thing. And that is completely not what senior in high school Pascal had in mind, and even college Pascal had in mind to do. At that point, you were still thinking basketball coach, college level, working your way up. So walk us through that re-engagement and rethinking of your mindset completely.
Well, law school was very challenging. For anyone who wants to go, in the end, it's worth it. But in the very beginning, and while studying for the bar exam, it is pure torture, right? But
thank you for your honesty.
Can make the best of it. All right. I came out. I think I lost what little hair I had left. Gray hairs came about. Everything. Right. It was stressful because you were put in a position where everyone is just about everyone is super, super competitive. Right. And like they just want to be at the top, and you have, not gonna lie, teachers really, really do push you hard, right? And a lot of them, there's some that are more helpful than others. Some will really beat you down, all right? And you know what? I get it, because judges aren't always going to be nice to you as well, But there was this, for the first time in my life, I'm in this atmosphere where people are really they're super, super competitive, to the point where people are forming little cliques or they wouldn't share stuff with you. And you know what? I went into this because a lot of these students also worked for law firms. I had no legal experience, right? So they knew about briefs. They knew how to get all the materials. I went in there fresh, just reading old English, couldn't understand it, could barely understand what was going on. I was just, while I'm watching these students who understand everything, later on I found out how that came to be, but I'm not going to mention his name, but still one of my best friends to this day. He really helped me out. And and got me going. But it was extremely difficult at first. I had one teacher that would pick on me every single class period. Every single class period. I think she was pissed off that the first semester I was top 5 in my class.
Especially fresh out of something completely not related to law. And like you said, you had all these other individuals there that had either part-time jobs, full-time jobs, or just temping at agencies or law firms. And just being in that environment, you pick up stuff you're learning. So yeah, no, I can imagine. Like I said, that speaks to your competitive
But
self
see,
as well.
the thing is, once again, although I was in this position, right? I wasn't in this, like, I'm in this environment, and I'm not there trying to, I'm like, I was saying, like, look, we're in law school, like, we're going to become attorneys. My goal is not the same as yours. I'm not trying to take your job. I always knew, I was pretty sure I was going to work for myself, but other people don't think that way, and that's fine. That's fine, right? But they were competing for the best internship and the best job. I was competing with myself, really. I was competing with myself. I just wanted to be the best, become the best attorney that I can be, and still the same thing. So when I had other students who were struggling like I was, you know what I did? I shared my stuff. I organized study groups. We had famous study sessions around my pool.
You gotta study anyway, man. So share with our listeners some of the important life lessons that you learn along the way of your journey to law school, because again, it's completely different. It's out of your environment. It's something that you had no idea. Like you said, you couldn't even speak the lingo, understand the lingo, and prepare yourself for that. So what are some of the life lessons that you went through along that journey, along that way?
Well, in the legal journey, in the legal field, I had no experience. I had to learn a lot on my own, and I hated asking for help, but I needed to swallow my pride and get help. Right. And I know I just spoke about my mindset of wanting to help people, other people who needed help or weren't getting certain concepts, because I don't feel like I'm in competition with anyone else, but not everyone felt that way, and not everyone was willing to help. I had to learn not to take that personal. It was hard for me. It was really hard for me because I was always willing to help people, and then I had to temper my expectations of people. At first I was disappointed, but then I realized it's not a slight. People have their own lives and things going on, and so you know what? Anyone who knows me now, I rarely take things personal. I'm not the guy who says, "And I took that personal." No, not really.
What's the point?
And I hold on to stuff like I don't really keep receipts. Because nah.
The other individual has already moved on, and you're the one holding the grudge. You're the one still simmering over, marinating over something that happened with the other individual has no idea. They're living their life, and you're there resentful and holding a grudge for no reason. So
absolutely, that is not me. I'm like I used to take things personal, but now my skin is so thick, I forget about it in a second. People, I'm sure. Like, oh, why do you take that from them? I'm like, man, that person. Look, no. I've always said you can't let someone else control your emotions. Right. Like if that makes them feel happy to do whatever kind of nastiness or whatever it is, let them be happy. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna succeed.
Worry about me and what I can control. It's just one of those big sayings. Worry about what you can control and let go of the things you can't control and let them be, because you can't change people. So just let them be and just worry about yourself. So as you were going to say,
they say is like you get. I say I'm going to better myself for myself. Okay.
And that's where it starts.
All right. And, and the only way you can do that is if you do it by yourself, in the sense of like, you have to want to just be better yourself and not worry about anybody else.
Oh man, that's our younger selves, man. Sometimes we go back in time and everything else. If we would have learned that lesson early in life,
Yeah, but that's the thing. Life
That's
is
a
life
journey
is
of.
about learning lessons.
Mhm.
Yeah, our parents tell us these things, but we
It's not
don't
until
really
we go
get
through
it.
it.
It doesn't sink in until
Mhm.
we go through it.
Yeah, that's 100%
You know.
true. So, how do you stay motivated and resilient in the face of obstacles? So, as you were going through law school, as you saw everybody already having a jump start on you, you playing catch up, you not being the favorite of some teachers because of here's this kid who just transferred from God knows where, and he now decides he wants to be a lawyer. Let me pick on him. How did
Uh,
you
w-
go through that?
Well, I stayed motivated and resilient, right? I stayed motivated. I thought end game. I don't let people bother me. Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, people do piss me off, but you know what? I don't let them see that. I try not to, at least. Everyone has an opinion. Keep it to yourself. You know, people, even folks. I realize that people, even folks close to you, can be negative or doubt you, right? So I learned to just back myself, believe in myself. Like I just always believe in myself. Like me walking into the regional commissioner's office and just saying, "Can you be my mentor?" Right? Like other people are
Yeah.
scared to do that kind of stuff. You know.
Oh, we got to take those leaps of faith,
And
man.
then you know what also happened is that I guess that approach of like just backing myself and just like I said earlier, I came in with not much experience, but very early on in my practice, I started seeing that other firms were trying to hire me, and I said, "Ooh, well, you know what? I'm doing something right. Let me.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna keep on. I'm just gonna keep on going." And then I put certain numerical goals in place, and those keep me motivated as well because I know that I can continue to do better and better. And right now, it's just a competition of like within me. Just am I going to be better tomorrow than I was today?
And that's the outcome that we have to keep in mind, because especially when you run your own company, your own practice, it can get lonely. You know, it can get very lonely. And if you let those
Absolutely.
intrusive thoughts come in, that kind of stuff, that's where you can go dark. You can get lost fairly quickly. So having that mindset of hey, today was great, tomorrow's gonna be even better, and building the stepping stones to a better tomorrow. That's a great way to keep focused. And that's something that I had to do as well as a business owner and everything else, because we have our good days. We're humans. We break down both physically and mentally. We
Absolutely.
have those challenges and everything, and it's just the mindset to get us out of there. You know, it's the mindset of holding on to the tomorrow, holding on to it's gonna be better. This storm will pass, and tomorrow we'll have better waters. So as we're moving through this journey, as you're going through law school, life expectations and changes, because again, it was a drastic change. It was a drastic decision that we can trace back to that beach, of you wanting to help people and finding the purpose as a lawyer. How has your life expectations changed over the years after that decision? As you were going through law school and those recurring years, how has Pascal changed his point of view and his mindset?
Well, the thing is, I've become just very focused on my law firm, right, or my law practice, and you know, as we spoke about before, I was always working a million jobs, right? This is the first time I only have one job, one thing to focus on, right? And so the more I focus on it and the more I work, my vision starts to become a little clearer, right? As to what makes me happy, right? What makes me happy is having a successful firm. Do I want to have a large firm? I'm not sure of that yet, but I like the way things are going so far, and opportunities are arising, and I'm glad that I'm in a great position to capitalize.
No,
So
and that goes. It's. I'm laughing when you said you don't want a big law firm or not, that kind of stuff, because I can relate to that. A lot of people ask me, oh, what do you, I don't know. I'm happy as it grows. I do want to continue growing. Wherever that growth goes, the biggest priority is, am I enjoying what I'm doing? And things like that, because that's a great mindset to have. It's doing it because we want to do it, because it drives us to do it. And whatever outcome comes out, it will come out. It will develop on its own, and we have the keys to that end game. So, what pivotal moments or decisions significantly change your life trajectory? So, I like this question because it makes you think about where you are today. How is a 360 from where you wanted to be from middle school and all the way down to your trajectory? What key points do you see in life?
I think it's when I stopped listening to the negative voices. People who just like, it's not like they would say you can't do this or you can't do that. It would be more of just like, well, that's going to be really difficult, or, and the thing is, they were portraying, I realize now they're portraying their own insecurities or anxieties they were, putting it upon me. And so like, I felt like I had to get those people out of my life, or even if they're still there, I just don't listen to that negative stuff. I change the subject really quickly. Like you and I, we have these positive conversations all the time. And by positive, it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, only tell me what's good in your life or something like that. No, it's just people who uplift each other, who help each other out. I say, hey, Drace, I was thinking about you today because there was, there's this new company that needs IT work or marketing, I'm like, hey, I seen another opportunity. I call up friends when I see opportunities for them because I don't keep them to myself. Although, you know what? Mark Cuban does say, the rich people keep their good ideas to themselves.
And again, it all depends on what we want to be. If you want to be that level of wealth and that level of stuff, that's a different mindset to have. Again, it all comes down to what is your end goal? What is the trajectory that you want to follow, and who do you want to be? You want to be worth billions? If that is measure of what your worth is going to be, well, go for it. If you just want to enjoy what you do and everything else, at the same time, again, there's so many. That's what I like about business. There's so many businesses out there, so many different trajectories, so many paths that anybody can be what they want to be. They don't have to follow in someone's footsteps. They can learn from those individuals, but they can have their own journey. And find fulfillment with whatever it is. It could be something extremely, becoming something super famous and changing the world, or just changing your community, changing your family. All those things are impacted at different levels. It's all about what you want to do and what you want to achieve with your life. And my next question is one that I struggle with a lot myself too. But how do you balance personal life and professional responsibilities?
I'm god awful at this. Okay. I'm that type of person who gets up in the middle of the night and I'm looking at my cell phone, checking my emails. I try not to respond to the emails in the middle of the night, but sometimes I do. And the thing is, you have other attorneys sending emails in the middle of the night, right? And you're like, well, I want to respond to this right away.
This guy's working, damn it, so am I.
Yeah, right. You're like, when do these people get to sleep? Well, that's one thing you have to get used to is when you're an entrepreneur, like you don't really get to sleep a lot. You have to work harder. All right. People think we just have all the time in the world, and people will see like I travel and I spend time with my family in Canada. But like they don't realize on just about every single vacation, I spend many hours working. I spend many hours working. There's times where I'm supposed to be on vacation and I'll spend an entire day in the office or like in the hotel room or Airbnb, just writing up motions, responding to emails, going to court. People just, they see like this snapshot of like maybe one night or something, and they're like, "Oh, well, this
This
is all
guy's
the
has
person
it.
does." No,
That's it.
yeah,
It goes back.
no,
It goes back to what we
no,
talked about on episode 6, where people see just the highlight reels of your life. They see that one night as one night snapshot. It's, oh my god, this is why I want to be my own boss and everything else. Money, 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 money. It's not that, and it's I can relate 100% on how many family trips, how many trips I've taken, and I'm always on the phone. I'm always on the computer, and I'm always trying to juggle because as everybody else gets to have fun, you have responsibilities. The books
yeah,
ends here. If there's problems and they get up the chain, and you are the one that has to show your face, you're the one that has to fix it. The customer is not going to be, oh, all my stuff is down, or I'm going to jail. Oh, it's okay. My lawyer is on vacation right now. Don't bother him. It doesn't work that way in the real world.
no,
You know,
absolutely not,
you
absolutely
you you
not.
have customers to serve. They need you there, and that's one of the reasons why they're paying you to get you there. So no,
You know,
I
but
know you.
what I do,
Go ahead.
I'll tell you one thing though. I do, but I will spend a lot of time with family, and like especially my family in Canada and in Miami. I talk to them a lot. I speak to my close friends almost daily. I seriously keep myself busy. Like if I need, like, I make sure, like, I've gotten better at this by scheduling time to do things that are not work related. Right. So I take some, I'll take some Spanish lessons or go to the gym. Soccer is a major thing for me because getting out there and playing, one, it keeps me healthy, and two, it's kind of it's just relaxing for me. But I love learning, and every day I'm learning. I'm learning from everyone. I can learn from a squirrel.
No,
You know.
and that's the other mindset that we need to have. When you're part of an organization, when you're part of a company, learning is not as important per se because you have a group of people to rely on. You have a book of business. You have a book of additional hands on deck that can help you and back you up. But when you're by yourself, when you're running your own business, you are level 1, you're level 2, you're level 3 in IT. You got to handle all complexities of things. Same things for yourself. Our customer comes in with an issue, a complex issue. It's up to you to fix it, and it's up to you
Yeah.
to show that, one, trust in me. I'll take care of your case. I'll give you a favorable outcome, and we can work through there. So again, this is the side of entrepreneurs and business owners that a lot of people don't see or seem to understand, that there is a lot of pressure. There is a lot of at stake, because especially when you're just starting off, one bad review, one bad interaction, one bad thing might make or break your next steps and things like that. So
Oh,
it's a lot of things that we
absolutely.
have to keep in mind. So as we continue moving through today's episode, we're going to move to our next segment, which is starting your own law practice, brother. So
Right.
what inspired you to start your own law practice? We kind of touched on this, but
Well,
what was the main focus to say, what, I have job offers. I'm sure during law school, as you continue kicking ass and taking names, you were poached. You were approached by companies. You were approached by law firms saying, "Hey, work with us." What made you? What inspired you to say, "You know what? I'm gonna fly solo."
well, I really wanted to help people, and I said, going out on my own is probably the best way to go. This is the mentality that I had, right? The mentality I had was, all right, let me go out on my own, try to let me see if I can succeed, because the worst thing that could happen to me is I fail and get a job, right?
Exactly.
But and even if I failed, I knew that I would gain experience in failing, so it wasn't. So I really wasn't afraid. I really wasn't afraid to move forward, and just jump off by myself. Yeah, it hasn't been easy, but
All
but
right.
I'm glad I did it.
What were some of those challenges? What were some of your biggest challenges you faced when you started your practice?
Experience, not knowing how to run a law practice. There's not that many people that are there to tell you how to run a law practice. And there's not one way to run a law practice or any other business, right? I'm still learning as we go, right? Even, and it's not even just how to run a law practice, it's how to be a lawyer, right? Because
yes.
I'm not only because like for you, right? You're not only doing the IT work, but then you also have to market yourself and run a business. You're not an employee, you have to get business. So thank God I've met some really great people who taught me a lot of great lessons. I'd say two of the people who have helped the most, I would say, are Robert Jeffrey and Joaquin Rosales. They've really helped guide me. Harold Trutman, he's been a good guy for me as well. Carlos Garcia, love that guy. These people they all taught me not only the business aspects, but how to practice, manage employees, payroll, marketing, all of that. And it took there was a lot of trial and error, but thank God I have a good solid group of people around me, and you know what? And I surrounded myself with I found with good employees, with Brenda and JP, and what I found is that I don't really care that much for resumes. Maybe later on that'll change. At this point, I hire based off of, can I work with this person? Is this person willing to work? Right. And am I going to be able to
get along with them?
Am I going to get along with them? Right.
Because that's another challenge. We spend so much time with these individuals, and sometimes we spend more time with them than our own families. They say 8 hours, but no, 8 hours can be 9, 10, 12. Especially when things get, tough, when cases get crazy, when we have issues and stuff like that. So having that chemistry, having that mentality of teamwork, building that teamwork, because that's the other challenge that we have. Not only do we have to run a business, we have to find a way to bring these people together as you get more employees, more people in the company and things like that. You got to find that everybody fits in, that everybody's contributing, because then you start dealing now with the day-to-day of managing people. And, dealing with people, as your experience in Social Security, as a lawyer, security guard, and promoter and such, it's people are hard, man. People are hard.
Oh,
and even in an environment as cool as you are, you always have to be careful to make sure the right people fall in the right places, because it's just one bad apple, the whole thing kind of implodes, So that's another challenge that we have to keep in mind as we go day to day, as we work through this journey together and everything else, that we want to make sure that we're all working as a unit, working as a team. And it's sometimes easier said than done. I'm still struggling myself with getting some of our own team members to communicate a little more, as much as mentoring, as much as things you do. There's still some people that just like to be lone wolves. And when you get to an environment, especially a remote environment, communication it's key. So that's another piece of advice out there, guys, is if you're running a business and it's a lot of remote, the challenge is greater, because at least in the office, you can control that individual. You can refocus them. You can say, hey, Pascal, wake up, bro. It's time to produce, let's go. But when you don't see them because you see them through a camera, through a screen, that's a big challenge, because, did they shower already? Are they on their desk on time? There's a lot of things that go with there. So yeah, there's a lot of challenges that could come with that. So what advice would you give to others considering starting their own business?
I'd say, one, don't be afraid. Like I said earlier, the worst thing is that you can fail and just have to get a job, right? You'll gain experience. I think a lot of people are afraid to fail, and it's not even for themselves. They're afraid to fail because they're worried about what others might think of them, right? Like, no, just don't worry about that. Do better for yourself. All right. It's for yourself. Right. I say be all in. right? If you're going to do it, don't just like treat it as a side job, like hoping that it becomes your main job. Just be all in, right? And focus on it, and it'll grow. If it doesn't, like I said, you're gonna end up just getting another job,
And you get experience. Again, it
and you
sounds
gain
easier said than done,
experience.
but and you know what? That might set the foot for a better business down the road. You never again. One of
Absolutely, I tell people that all the time. I tell people that all the time. It can actually, we've spoken about my journey, all these different jobs. Actually, and I didn't even mention my first ever job was selling T-shirts when I was a kid. I used to sell T-shirts of the Gulf War. Right?
oh my goodness, we're dating
Right?
ourselves now.
Right? And but like all of these jobs have led to where you're at now. Like this might not be the last job I have or last company I own. I don't know that, because opportunities come. And the last thing I would say is know your numbers. All right, you got to be sustainable. Right, check your spreadsheets. Make sure you have your goals. See, check your progress very, very often. But we're in business to make money. All right. So you have to make sure you're actually making money. And if you're not paying attention to the numbers, you can find yourself in a hole very quickly.
Yeah. Yes. That is something, again, finances are a huge part of running a business because again, you can't print money. You got to work with the money that you have, and the benefit of this though is if you want more money, you hustle more, you get more business, you get more clients, and that's how you get more business. But getting to that point requires an investment, requires a mindset, and that's one of the things I like about working for yourself. If you're hungry and you want more, you go out there and you find it. You can grow your paycheck, you can grow your what you bring in each month. But it's just understanding how to keep yourself afloat to make it to that next month, to that next sale. It's a very, very tricky part if you don't manage your finances. And I believe, again, I don't know any stats, but I think the majority of the reasons why business fail is because they don't keep their books, they don't keep their finances in order. Just like we do when in our personal lives, we overspend. Next thing you know, cash flow is tight. Start getting making sacrifices, and then there's only so much cuts you can make in the company for it to be able to work. So no, brother. As we kind of reach the end of episode 7, brother, it's been an amazing journey. We've been friends for so many years now. Going through this journey together has walked me through memory lane from your middle school, high school, where we met, where we have no idea how we spoke to each other, and here we are. We're still in touch. It's people were laughing at a lot of messages about that one. Like, yeah, how in the world did you guys communicate? I don't recall. I have no idea how we communicated, but here we are. College years, fun years, night traffic, security guard job, understanding that job is not for you. Basketball coach, Social Security Administration, moving up in the ranks, 18 years there, finally a calling inside of you saying, I need to do something greater for my fellow human, for my fellow man, going to the military, trying it out, or not even trying out, just investigating it and seeing, oh, this is not for me, Interpol. And then finally, that quiet silence, Dominican Beach, putting you in send with yourself and saying, ooh, lawyer. To go into that process of law school, starting with nothing, no knowledge of law, no understanding of law, and seeing how everybody in that class was already 10, 15 steps ahead of you because they already lived that environment, to graduating, and opening your own practice. It's been an amazing journey because looking at the Pascal in middle school to looking at the Pascal and now it goes back to night and day when we talk about when we first started with episode 6. Our expectations of life are this, but one of the things I want to take away from here is how life had this path for him. Somehow he was meant to be a lawyer. He had this, I don't want to call it an existential crisis. No, he just had a better calling, and the military, it didn't work out. Interpol, You said you didn't follow up. No, it's not. It wasn't meant for you. As soon as you went to this place, you had mindset for yourself. It clicked in law school, and then guess what? Everything. I'm not gonna say it's easy. You busted your ass. It would be unfair to
Absolutely.
say. It would be unfair to say, oh, it was roses and peaches. No, you worked
No.
hard. You fought sleepless nights, long nights. But guess what? It came together. You made it, and now how many years now has your practice been running?
Oh, it's been what, about 8 years now?
Look at that, 8 years. So, brother, knowing that this journey that you started with an idea at the beach, from the desire to help others, has become your full-time job, your full-time passion. What are your final thoughts or advice for our listeners?
The first thing I say, and I always tell people, just go for it. Take the leap of faith. Don't be afraid to fail. I've always said the worst thing that could happen is, remember, then you just have to get a job, right? um, Keep positive relationships, right? You always want to keep positive people around you. You don't want people that are negative. I'm not saying you just want yes people around you, right? But you don't want people who are just negative about everything. Who don't have that mindset of I can make it, or like about themselves that they can make it, you know. And then another thing is integrity. Integrity is very high up there, right? One thing, Mark Cuban says this. Remember, the cover up is usually worse than the crime. Okay,
Yeah.
So tell the truth, right?
Tell the truth, come clean,
Yeah.
being honest,
Yep.
being honest from the get go. It's a lot better.
And
Saying
I say,
no.
say no. Manage expectations. That's one thing with clients. Manage their expectations. I'll have some new clients come in, and I tell them, they say they want me to represent them, and I tell them, hey, look, just so you know, I'm busy right now. Right? I'm busy. I'm not going to get what you want done in 2 days. It's not going to be done in 2 days. Right? It'll be about a week, and if you want to hire someone else, go do it. But I also tell, but when they receive the product, they realize, hey, Pascal takes his time on everything that he files, right? It's not just templates and slapping things together,
There's a
but
process that goes with that.
right.
Yeah.
But then but also, if earlier I mentioned be all in, right? But when you have your own company, be the face of your company. Don't don't hide behind your logo, right? Because I know, especially in my job, obviously I'm representing people, right? But I'm sure even in your industry, right? People want to see you. They want to speak to you. They want to know your face. They want to know who you are, right? And I think that's part of being an entrepreneur, right? You should be personable, and be yourself, because people will find out. They'll find out real quick when you're faking.
Yeah. And it's going back to the thing. It's hearing myself manage expectations and learn to say no. Because once you tarnish that job, your reputation, because you took on too much that you couldn't handle, it's hard to regain that trust. It's
Absolutely.
hard to regain that willingness from your customer to go back and give you a second chance. Second chance are hard to come by.
Oh, especially, how many attorneys there are out there. They can choose someone else. I had one of my clients. I want to say it was Friday. I was having a conversation with this person, and my client says, I've been this person's attorney for, I want to say, 3 years now. Yeah, it's been about 3 years. And she says to me, Pascal, There's a lot of attorneys, but you're my attorney because I trust you, right? You don't just tell me what I want, right? You tell me, yes, yes, I can I know this is what you want, but I'm not going to sacrifice my own integrity just to get you what you want. That's something that I won't do, and I hold my integrity very dear to me.
Now, like I said, our names, I can't recall who said this to me because it's been so many years. Oh, I do recall my high school English teacher. One day he mispronounced my name, and I'm trying to remember his name. That's why I'm following the story to see if it comes to me. I remember his face like yesterday, but I just can't remember his name right now. The day I met him, I knew he was not a high school teacher. He was meant for college, and that's what he did after 1 or 2 years at Chaminade. He went to college. He mispronounced my name, and seeing the face of horror, he was so apologetic. And here I am, a high school junior, saying like, "What's the big deal?" So he saw my reaction, and he stopped me and said, "Young man, I just made the biggest mistake one can make in life. It's mispronounce someone else's name." And I said, "Why?" "Your name is who you are. I just stepped on who you are, because you could be the richest person in the world. You can be the most influential person in the world, or you could be a Joe Nobody in the corner. But your name is what you're born with and what you die with. Everything else comes and goes in life, but your name stays with you from day one to your last day on earth. And me mispronouncing your name is an act of disrespect." I didn't pay much attention as a high school kid, but as I grew up and got older, those words always stay with me. And that's something that I believe deeply. Your name, once it's tarnished, it is done.
Absolutely.
You only have one of them. I mean, yeah, you can go legally and change it, but you're still tied to that name that you had. And those words always, and now you just reminding me of them again just now, of how important they are. Your name means something. Respect it. Live to grow it and represent it. And be mindful of how you do and how you carry yourself around others. Brother, it's been a pleasure.
Likewise, thanks for having me.
No, brother, it's been a pleasure. It's been a fantastic journey. I look forward to our next segment together. We've got to sit down and talk about it and see what we're going to come up with. But this has been a lot of fun. I'm really enjoyed it. And let's see what tomorrow brings, brother.
Amen. Thank you, brother.
All right, brother. We'll be in touch. Take care. And dear listeners, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for episode 8 coming out probably Monday. And thank you for your patience. I know we missed an episode last week, but both of us have had our own crazy last couple of weeks that unfortunately prevented us from meeting up and getting together to record this episode. But here we are. We apologize, and we're resuming our regular posting of our episodes, starting with this one. Thank you, and have a great one, brother. I'll see you in the next one.
All right.